Join with me for the next few minutes in meditation, and allow the words that I speak to be the words of your own heart. So take the time now to relax and get comfortable where you're seated, knowing that you are safe, knowing that you are one with Spirit. There is a universal law of mind that acts on your beliefs to create your experiences. And as you begin to identify and break free from negative patterns of belief, you become aware of the new possibilities. I earn a great deal of money. I spend money wisely. Borrowing money is easy for me. Paying money back is easy for me. I always have enough money. I have a very good credit rating. I earn raises easily. I have a savings account with a growing balance in it. I am financially successful. I am free of my need to gamble. All my bills are paid on time. I have money to buy what I need. I have money to buy what I desire. My retirement is provided for. I am providing for retirement. I am always financially secure. I am debt-free. I joyfully release money, knowing I am in its flow. I have the money to pay taxes. Everything I need is always provided. I have as much as I can accept. I love and bless my money. I manage money well. As I relax and breathe into this moment, I recognize there is a perfect presence and power in the universe. This infinite life, which expresses as the divine qualities of abundance and support, is the source of all good. I observe these qualities in evidence everywhere. In the vast number of stars in the sky and the leaves on the trees. In the bountiful rainfall and luxurious sunshine. I also observe how many different forms of life exist and how lavishly they are provided for. I notice how limitless and bountiful the universe is, and how many countless ways abundance is expressed. Recognizing the abiding presence of divine abundance and support, I become aware of the activity of God's power in the world around me. I take a moment now to think and feel about this presence and power. There is a presence and power greater than I am, God, which is the creator of everything around me. I recognize that there is one God, one life, one mind, and that it is ever present, ever active, and constantly creative. I now take a moment to contemplate the ever-presence of God. As I observe the presence and power of God everywhere around me, I begin to experience my deep connection with Spirit. I know without a doubt I am part of Spirit. I know there is one life, and that life is God, and that life is what I am. I also know there is one universal law of mind, which always responds to my beliefs. In this moment, I feel my oneness with the divine qualities of abundance and support. I take the time now to sense the presence of these qualities within me. I now remember a time when a particular need of mine was completely met. I now think of a time when I felt a secure sense of being supported and sustained. I now remember these occasions and others and reflect on them. In this stillness, I know that as a spiritual being, I am not separate from Spirit, nor am I separate from the power that gives form to divine qualities. I now take a moment to experience the unification. As I observe the presence and the power of Spirit everywhere around me, I become aware that I am part of a great unity. I accept and feel my oneness with Spirit. I experience my oneness with this presence and power greater than I am. I take a moment to experience it now. As I maintain a sense of unity with a presence and power greater than I am, I know that abundance and support exist in place of any of my problems. I take a moment now to contemplate this idea, releasing all doubt and reservation. With every moment, I am becoming more deeply convinced the new and positive experience I desire is unfolding for me now. I feel the feelings of this unfolding in my body and take a moment to experience them. I recognize and accept the presence of the divine qualities of abundance and support where my problem appears to be. In this moment, I am creating a mold for the universal law of mind, so I am clear, definite, and specific. I see it, I feel it, I experience my unfolding good now. I know my new experience is already taking form in my life through the activity of the universal law of mind. In this moment, I recall an occasion in my life when I felt a great outpouring of gratitude. I completely recapture in my imagination this special time of feeling grateful, and allow the experience to be fresh and vivid for me again. I feel those feelings as though it was happening now. I know when I have an attitude of thanksgiving, when I know my need is already met. Something in this attitude enhances my ability to have faith, to be open and receptive. So right now, completely and wholeheartedly, I accept that my money problems or any other problem is resolved, and I feel thankful for this situation. I am grateful. In this moment, I remember the feelings of an experience where I felt completely unburdened, as if a great weight had been lifted from my shoulders. I remember clearly what it felt like to let go. I remember the feeling of release. So gratefully in this moment, I choose to experience this feeling again in regards to this problem, or any problem I may have. I know that the universal law of mind is now creating the results I desire. I relax and experience a sense of trust, certain that this resolution is unfolding. I sit in this feeling of release, completely unburdened, completely free, completely grateful. I know my good is unfolding now. The act of releasing my affirmative prayer ensures that the how is up to spirit. I accept and I allow. For when I release it, the universal law of mind can freely respond to my new spiritual understanding, revealing abundance and support in place of my concerns. So right now, I release all fear and worry, and I allow this process to move forward. I deliberately choose to let go of the problem, and I am confident that the good I desire is already unfolding. So in this moment, right now, I release these thoughts, this affirmative prayer, this statement of gratitude that it is already done, to the activity of the universal law of mind. It is done. And so it is.
What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine? myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? I give it to you.
It's everywhere. It fixes and heals. I like how it feels. Love is who I am. It's my whole being. I let it heal me, as you can see. Love, love. I do it with love. Wherever I am, whenever I can, I do it with love. I see all the love, it's dancing around. I let it just flow, I let it just grow. So send all the love where it's needed. See it surrounding, see it just being. Love, love. I do it with love. Wherever I am, whenever I can, I do it with love. Love, love. I do it with love. Wherever I am, whenever I can, I do it with love.
Sometimes I try too hard. Sometimes I lose my way. Sometimes I speak too soon when I've got nothing much to say. And yet I'm worthy, yeah, worthy of your love. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I rush right into judgment, and I slide right by the truth. Then I tell someone else's secrets just for something new to do. And yet I'm worthy, yeah, worthy of your love, yeah. Call it mercy, sometimes I fall, sometimes I fail, and I feel like I'm right back in school. Oh, sometimes I run from from my teachers. Sometimes I hide from the pain, and then I take the same wrong turn again and again and again and again. But am I worthy? Is she worthy? Oh yes. Is he worthy? Yes. Are we worthy? Oh yes. We're worthy of God's Seize the day, for the day is a gift from God. Carpe, gaudium, joy. Carpe, 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 gaudium. Carpe, gaudium. Carpe, 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 gaudium. Carpe, gaudium. Seize the joy, for the joy is a gift. Seize the life, for the life is a gift. Seize the day, for the day is a gift from God. Carpe, 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 risum. Carpe, risum. Carpe, 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 risum. Carpe, risum. Seize the laughter's a gift. Seize the joy, for the joy is a gift. Seize the life, for the life is a gift. for the joy is a gift. Seize the life for the life is a gift. Seize the day for the day is a gift from God. Carpe, 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 carpe risu, carpe risu, carpe, 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 carpe risu, carpe risu. Seize the laughter's a gift. Seize the joy for the joy is a gift. Seize the life for the life is a gift. Seize the day for the day is a gift from God. For the joy is a gift. Seize the life for the life is a gift. Seize the day for the day is a gift from God. Let's carpe on out of here. Carpe, 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 carpe.
Morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Hamilton. Welcome to everyone in the sanctuary. Welcome to everyone online. We are happy you have taken the time to come and spend it with us this morning. My name is Marcia Daly, and I will be your presider for today. So, 10% of all we receive goes out to bless those in our community. So in the city of Hamilton, we're blessing Mission Services and Unity Canada. And as always, last Sunday, the fourth Sunday of the month, is our Kids Sunday. So I'm going to invite those who are here to come in. And if we have any other kids outside.
Yeah, if you want to come up and we can sing together.
I meant come up, not come in.
You can either sit or stand here, whichever you're comfortable with.
And we're going to sing, I Am Who I Am.
Yay, you made it. Here, who wants to sing? Ready? I am who I am. I am who I am. Who I am is just perfect. I am who I am. I have all I need here inside of me. I start each new day, and I remember to say, I am who I am. I am who I am. Who I am is just perfect. I am who I am. I don't have to worry. I have all I need. I start each new day, and I remember to say, I am who I am. I am who I am. Who I am is just perfect. I am who I am. If I'm feeling worried, I take a deep breath. I start each new day, and I remember to say, I am who I am.
I am who I am.
Who I am is just perfect.
I am who I am.
Who I
am is just perfect. I am who I am.
am. Yay.
So thank you, everyone. So if you want to go and do your children's activities, whatever they may be, and then come back and let us know what you did.
Secret right now.
Okay. I'm Reverend Anna Hokangas, and it's my delight to be here with you today. So join with me in this opening prayer. I always like to say it in the first person, present tense, and positive, because it reminds me that I am one with everything, and everything is one with me. And so as I quiet my mind, I bring my attention to my heart center. And I recognize that this is where my connection is truly heightened. And I know that my thoughts, my beliefs, my actions, my words create my life. So today I allow this inner wisdom, this inner guidance, to guide me into the best experience of this day. And I know it always says yes. And so I'm open. I'm open to the guidance. And I'm open to the feelings of gratitude. Because what that does is brings even more reasons to be grateful. So as I breathe into this moment of gratitude, I let go and I let it be so. Please join with me in affirming. And so it is. Because our thoughts are prayers.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, the tools that we create with. Our thoughts are prayers that spirit resonates with. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of mindfulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. And every thought becomes a prayer. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Turn around. It was me.
Oh, wow. Good harmonies right there.
The absolute word is kindness, and the affirmation, I am love in action, sharing kindness. Any kindness is based off the principles of benevolence, generosity, and love. Therefore, the potential and possibility for kindness is ever present within me. Opportunities abound to be kind, and I hold that intention today. Ideas fill my mind, perhaps as a nudge to call someone, send a note, smile, or give a compliment. Practicing kindness includes freely sharing my talents by giving of myself. Focusing on kindness, I am patient in all my dealings and resist easy judgment and prejudices. I'm keenly aware that I can get frustrated in challenging situations. I'm also aware that I can use them to lean into my higher self as love and peace. The more I practice being kind, the more easily kindness becomes my natural state of being.
I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. If you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. If you ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be the light and brighten someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life.
Okay. So can you guess what we're talking about today? So we create ripples in the world. And so I'd like to really look at this
mindful thinking, and how can we live mindfully so that the ripples that we create that come back to us are ones that we would like and that are going to enhance things. So it started with this idea that I know what I know, and you know what you know. And I know what I don't know, and you know what you don't know. But I also don't know what I don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. And that can get in the way, because sometimes we make assumptions, and we don't know what we don't know until we know what we know. Okay, so we're going to look at blind spots as a consequence of that, and why your perspective matters in all of this. And something I came across that I thought was brilliant called gratitude prompts. And when we get to that part, I'm almost thinking that it might be fun sometime to get together and make cards that have these gratitude prompts that you can just have somewhere and pull out, okay, I'm feeling really yucky right now. What prompt might kind of get me back to center? So we can talk about that more later. So what we see depends mainly on what we look for. And that's the thing about blind spots. What does blind spot mean in a person? So you know what it is in a car, where there's a part that you can't see when you're driving, and you need to actually look to be able to see that. So what it means if it's a person is that if you say that someone has a blind spot about something, you mean that they seem to be unable to understand it or see how important it is. For some reason, they just don't get it. And blind spots, your brain is on autopilot most of the time. That's why even recognizing what we're thinking about can be quite a learning curve. And so experts tell us that our unconscious mind makes a majority of our decisions. It creates blind spots because it's really busy just being on autopilot. Sort of like muscle memory. Have you ever driven somewhere that you usually go to and you think, how did I get here? Because of not only the blind spots in the car, don't tell anybody else that you're doing that when you're driving, by the way. But it's true, isn't it? You know, or we'll unplug the iron after ironing if anybody still irons, you know, or turn the coffee machine off or whatever it is. Like if it's not done automatically for us and we do it in our sort of autopilot mode, we don't even notice that we're doing it, right? And it's a good thing. I mean, to not have to be deliberately thinking about everything is helpful, for sure. But unconscious biases that can narrow your vision and potentially influence your behavior are also there. They live in that place. And it's interesting, I was thinking about my own unconscious biases and how they have changed. And when I realized that I had a bias about something that I hadn't been aware of, how shocked I was that I wasn't aware of it. How come I didn't know that? And then it was like, now that I know, I can't unknow it. So can you think of some things like that where you just assumed something and then you found out that that really wasn't the case? And it's like, wow, did I ever have a blind spot about that? So challenge your assumptions. Our brains are wired to make assumptions, which can sometimes be off base. And that's our ego part of ourselves, which is trying to keep us safe and what it knows to be true. And so we think it's an honest mistake. Science calls it a blind spot. So if you think about it, if you've ever said, oh, well, somebody made an honest mistake, it was really a blind spot for them. And maybe it isn't now because they made the mistake and now they see it differently. Or maybe it's you. And then first impressions can block objectivity. I know they've done all kinds of research on that, where if you look at a certain person and they're dressed a certain way or whatever, you make an assumption if you're somebody who's a fashionista, for instance, or that kind of thing. I remember I was, how old would I have been? Maybe 25. And I was in business for myself. I had about 5 employees at the time. And I was at a conference in Toronto to learn how to be a better business owner. And the man giving the talk, we didn't know who he was. Nobody had ever met him before. And he was out in the lobby area waiting for the room to fill up. And there was about 800 of us there. And we're waiting and waiting. When is this dude coming? And what we didn't know that was happening in the background was that he was in the lobby and he had, I think he had a Toronto Maple Leafs t-shirt on, and he had jeans and work boots on, did not dress at all like one would think. And this woman was rushing to get into the conference, and she didn't want to miss it, and the door was already closed, and she says to him, "Would you please bring my luggage to the front desk, because I'm there to see the speaker." And she had no clue that it was this guy. And so he went, okay, and he went and did that, and then the lights go on as everybody's sitting in the room. She's in the room as well, and he comes running up, and he goes, "Sorry I'm late, but somebody mistook me for just somebody wandering the halls." But that was actually intentional. He had hoped that somebody would do that. And then he talked to all of us. Now, we happened to be in the beauty business, so when we went to work, we were already pretty dressed. We'd do our hair and we'd do our makeup and things like that. But he was talking about how we present ourselves and that people will make first impressions of you on how you look or how you don't look. And it's interesting. Do you do that? Or is it an unconscious bias? Maybe it's the way a place looks, or maybe it's a smell or something that brings up an unconscious bias that's absolutely not true, but you think that it is until you question it. So how do we overcome stereotypes? Because that's part of an unconscious bias as well. And they can influence our perception of who's the right fit. They may create a roadblock towards our destination. I remember when I met Randy, and I knew, my soul knew that he was my guy. But he didn't look like my guy. Like he didn't have the dark hair and, the dark eyes, and didn't speak Italian. I thought it had to be somebody Italian and all of those things. And yet he ended up being the right guy. Now, if my soul hadn't said, "Hey, pay attention to this guy," I probably would have missed him and not had this wonderful life I've had to this point. So that was a real big stereotype of mine, thinking that love had to come in a certain package. And that was wrong. I was wrong. So are you letting blind spots to steer your decision making, and that you can take control of that? And how I would say you take control of that is every time you have a decision to make, think about, am I biased here? Am I using a stereotype here? Maybe the bias is it always happened that way before or for everybody else. Whatever it is, and can you let that go just in that moment when you make that decision? So that's why your perspective matters, making the decision to have your eyes both open. So there is a philosopher called Martin Buber from Germany who says that when it comes to how you view or interact with the world, there are basically two options. You either view the world or the other as an object or as a subject. It's an I and it or an I and you. And they say that one of the things that they do when they train military is that you think of it as I and it, so that they're able to do the things that they do, rather than the I and you. And are there areas in your life, or have you experienced it, where you're experiencing being an it in that situation by how you're being treated, rather than a you? And it's an interesting concept. So I and it is object. So first you look at yourself and say I, but then you look at another and say it. It's not relating to them as someone who thinks like you or is like you. So this is sort of taking the stereotype a little deeper. And other beings and creatures are things to be experienced and used. And there are people out there who they really, like, you're an it to them. You're a means to their end, rather than someone to collaborate with. And maybe we all sometimes use individuals as its and sometimes as yous, depending on what our underlying desire is. And maybe it's to just not go deep, you know, and so it's easier to protect yourself and not know somebody really well. So when you engage with them, they're simply characters in your story that you use, receive, consume to fulfill the agenda that you might have. I remember the first time I was quite a bit younger and just starting to go out to restaurants. And I was really curious because this individual I was with went to restaurants a lot and really engaged the staff like a you rather than an it. And think about how many people go to restaurants and treat the serving staff as an it rather than as a you, or a cashier, or someone who's doing a service. You know, how can we transform that itness to you-ness? Others are objects, and yet they're not. Like, how much better would the world be? Just imagine any scenario if we treated everyone as subjects rather than objects. So this was one that happened to me early on in my life, and that was inviting people over for dinner. I had no clue that I needed to find out if they had allergies, if they liked things or didn't like things, and I learned it really darn quick. And the dinner was for my husband, Reverend Randy. I thought he was the best thing since sliced bread, and I invited him for dinner. So what did I make? I made veal cutlets, breaded veal cutlets, mushroom Alfredo sauce, and it was just like my favorite food, right? He hates cream sauce. He doesn't eat mushrooms. And he still came back the next day. So, but he ate it and not with the exuberance that I expected, because but I had no clue. So have you ever found yourself in a situation like that thinking like, wow, how did that happen? It didn't even occur to me to ask. So now even when we have potluck here, we all know that some people like things and don't like things. And when we bring stuff, we bring it so that everyone can enjoy it. So anytime that you forget to be collaborative is when you're having them as an object. And the I and you, they're a subject. You look at yourself and you say I, and then you look at the other and you say you. Essentially, you look at another and see them the same way that you see yourself, with the same desires and the same feelings, or similar anyway. You assume that just as you have your outlook and depth and features, so do they. Now, sometimes that assuming can get us into trouble, but it's a lot better than them being an object, right? So they aren't an object, they're a subject, not something to be manipulated or used, but interacted with. And that's probably, if I say that there is anything that disturbs me, that I notice right away in an interaction with someone, is if I feel as though I'm being manipulated. You know how you just can feel it. So you see a person with hopes and dreams and goals and vulnerabilities and shortcomings and feelings, and that they have a history and an existence that parallels your own. I find that the thing that I'll share with you, because maybe it'll be helpful, is I give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes that can get me into trouble. Not big trouble, but I assume that perhaps they have the same goals or the same understanding or that kind of thing. And then I find out later that, well, maybe they didn't. But you know what? If I didn't make that assumption, I don't think I'd get along in life as well as I do. So even though it can get me into trouble at times, it's helpful. Like we're doing a collaborative effort with Mishka Kapadia and I and Randy and Lori, we're videotaping. And I don't know Mishka all that well. I've only met her a few times. She doesn't know me all that well. And we are both making assumptions about what we think the other knows as we're doing these rehearsals for the videotaping for these classes. And discovering that we need to go deeper. We need to, through these exercises, find out exactly where the gems are. And that's a whole new journey for me. So have you ever experienced that? I bet you have. And you know when you've experienced it? With a partner. You assume that they like certain things, do things a certain way. If you want to be friends, how are you going to do that? Overlook the things that aren't so bad that they're not going to change ever, and or talk about it, or whatever it might be. But we've all been there. And you know, I like the idea of getting to know everybody a little bit. And I don't know what it is that I do specifically, but I'd invite for you to start to think about it this way, that everyone that you encounter, that you learn something about them. Because I can tell you that those of you that are online, generally, I know most of you. Not all of you, but most of you. In one way or another, I know something about you. And those that I meet here in person, I can tell you stories, and not because I'm a minister, but because I ask certain questions and I find out certain answers and I pay attention. I know who you are to some degree. How did I get there? It's that curiosity of, I know that you are magnificent and I want to find out how, why. So when you hear these descriptions of the you and the I and the object and the subject, where do you find yourself mainly? And if you find yourself treating others or in situations where they are like the object, is it self-preservation? Is it fear? Or is it just you didn't know? You didn't realize? Because it's natural. So is the world simply full of characters in your story, or is it full of characters together in a common story? You know, when I was first with Randy, I was in hairdressing. So I was very intimate with every person that came, as in we talked and nobody else was talking with us. It was just the two of us. So when I was off, everything became the other, because I wanted to just kind of do my thing and not engage in those deep conversations that I'd had all week long. And it was partly because I'm an introvert, and so I need some space. And being in public, the only way to make space was to not interact with others. Randy, on the other hand, interacts with everybody, everywhere, all the time. And the first time that we went shopping together, I said, oh, well, I have one day off this week. I have about 7 things that I need to do. Do you want to do it together, or shall I go and do it on my own? He said, well, we'll do it together. We accomplished one thing. Because we went to Costco and he talked to every person there. And I remember thinking, if I have a day off and I want to accomplish anything, I can't go with him. So, do you know anybody like that? Are you like that? So, are you the only person that matters? And we know people who are like that. I know there's nobody here that's like that. You have to matter to yourself, though, you really do. But others, do you put others into the equation? Or put differently, are you the one who gets to decide who matters, which dimensions of the world are important? And I know that as I have gotten older, my control issues are much less, because I recognize that they're not that important as the relationship is. So, are we interdependent? A common village woven together? I think that we're doing a really good job of it. And the place where it's still a little bit of a challenge is for those of you online. You know, how can we be as interactive with you and have you feel like you're our community? And I think we do okay with that. We have the live chat on these live streams, and the comment section. You can join classes. You can come here in person if you want to. It's not perfect when people are online. It's not as intimate, but we're working on it, right? So you're either pulling the world into your small ideas or moving into the larger idea of humanity. And when you see the world as you see yourself, when you love the other in the same way that you love yourself, you enter the reality that we are more connected than we previously imagined. So it's an invitation to just expand your horizons a little bit more. And this changes everything for our human experience. And I think that the kind of challenges that we're seeing worldwide would be a lot less if more people were that way. So your perspective creates a particular kind of world. What kind of world? It's either a world of subjects or a world of objects. And how you view the world and perceive you have life around you is one of the most important decisions that you will make. So if you haven't been super happy with your interactions lately, maybe take a step back and get curious about the person that's in front of you. What are they about? What's going on with them? Maybe even make a challenge one day for a whole day. Don't tell anybody anything about yourself unless they ask. Ask them what they have to say to you and what's going on. Do you think you could do that? Would that be difficult? So gratitude prompts. I don't know about you, but sometimes in the bottom of the barrel, deep down in the hole where I go sometimes, I find it really hard to find something to be grateful for or to kind of conjure it up. So I thought this was a great idea. This is a great quote too. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is. And I think that gratitude prompts do that. So embrace each challenge in your life as an opportunity for self-transformation. I know it sounds ridiculous, but if something bad happens, to say, how am I going to have an opportunity here to transform? It may not come immediately, maybe it's the next day. But using gratitude prompts can help to lead to a more positive life and just generally be happier. So by spending time reflecting on your thoughts and focusing on the positives instead of dwelling on the negativity, you'll actually experience a huge shift. And that's really what gratitude journals are for as well. So the first thing is, and this would be the idea of the cards. So maybe there's a card in the deck that says, what are 3 things I'm grateful for today? You want to call anything out? Grandchildren. Coffee. Snow shovels. His father's birthday. And then how about write about your favorite hobby? Like just write notes down about maybe you love to read. So maybe you'd spend 15 minutes writing about the most recent book that you read and how much you enjoyed it. Have you ever done that? Like I've never written about my favorite hobby. Write about a person that you love. And these are all on the handout, by the way. So if you are wanting to see these later, I'll put them in the description box below this video later on. So write about a person that you love. Not just that you love them, but why do you love them? What's so special about them? Can you imagine if you're in the midst of being really pissed off at some situation that's just happened and you say, oh, my gratitude prompt is to write about somebody I love. You're not going to be in that bad place for very long. How about write about a happy memory from your childhood? I remember trying to make cigarettes with leaves and paper. It was so funny because they wouldn't burn. And I didn't understand the leaves were still too moist, I guess, or something. I was determined to learn how to smoke and I couldn't get cigarettes anywhere. What is one accomplishment that you're proud of? To sit for a moment and actually just write about that and then remember it. Isn't that a good one? So how is life better today than it was this time last week, month, or year? That's another really good one. And maybe it's, I'm divorced, or I'm married, or,
Deborah said it didn't snow.
it didn't snow. Yeah. Or what is something that you like about this time of year? Definitely not the snow. You know what I really like about this time of year? Is when it's cold. It needs to be cold. There's no clouds in the sky. The sky is blue and the sun is shining. I love that about this time of year. And it's often more beautiful than it is in the summer because everything's white and bright. So how about this? What is something that you treasure? List 5 possessions. So not treasure as in characteristics, but possessions that you have. Would a puppy or that sort of thing be a possession? It's kind of, we belong to each other, yeah. You're each other's possessions, yeah. And focus on your senses. List your favorite sight, sound, smell, felt experience, and taste. I love looking at clouds. I love the sound of leaves when the wind is blowing through them. I used to think it was a waterfall when I was a kid. And I'd always say to my parents, where's the water? They'd say, it's just the leaves. Or what's your favorite smell? Fresh coffee. Cinnamon. Hyacinths. And what about the best felt experience? Is it a hug? A kiss? A massaging from a massage therapist? Is it which one I love that just came up? Having a hot shower, feeling the water on my body. And what about taste? I think the first mouthful of something good, whatever it is, after that my senses are already kind of dull. But the first mouthful, the first little bit of chocolate, the 7th piece, not quite so good. Still good, but not quite so good. And what's your favorite tradition? What might it be? I have a tradition out of the blue that I do, and that is we're watching television or we're doing something. I'll go, hey, Randy. And he has his headset on or he's watching a TV show. I love you, Randy. And he looks at me and gets this funny look like, there she goes again. I love you too, he says. That's my latest tradition. And I'll do that here too. You'll notice that, right? You may be leaving, all of a sudden you'll hear this voice. Goodbye, I love you. So what's your favorite tradition? Now, can you see in those 10 things, because I don't think there's an 11th here, but I'm guessing there's 10, that we could make up some cards where you could have them available and then just pull one up to just kind of brighten your day, maybe even start your day. So when you're thinking of the worst case scenario, ask, what's the best thing that could happen? And know that you're making ripples anyways. Why not make them deliberately? And that's what we're all about, is figuring out what we've been thinking, how we're thinking, and how can we think better. Those of you at home can't see, but we have someone sitting in the back row with a dog, and there's this loving expression on its face as Mummy is petting her. She calls herself Grandma, though, not Mummy. Yeah. So we talked about our blind spots and how our perspective really does matter. And if you're not as happy as you think you could be, then maybe this is some place to start. And to create some gratitude prompts. And maybe they're even sticky notes just in different rooms in the house, so that as you walk by it, you can say, oh yeah, what would I write down if I had to write down my favorite hobby? What would I say about it? So would you say this with me? Today I reset my perspective by stopping to have a gratitude pause. I create space to realign with my highest and best. And so it is. Because we want a world that works for everyone.
We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing, and we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be, as we discover each other and celebrate humanity. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's all a revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone. Walking together, love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. That works for everyone.
That's one of my favorite songs. Okay, what's your takeaway today?
See.
My takeaway was I thought of something that happened where people try to judge you, put you in your place type of thing. Anyway, I used to drive a transit bus, and I was sitting in a terminal, and when you park the bus, you lower it to let people get on and off the bus. This lady comes up and says, "Excuse me, driver, can you please lower the bus?" I said, "Ma'am, it's lowered." And she repeated it again. "You didn't hear me. Can you please lower the bus?" And finally I thought, screw this. So I said, "Lady, the only way that this bus gets any lower is if I let the air out of the tires, and we'll be here for 2 hours waiting for the tire guy." So then it was insulting her, but anyway, I was happy with that. Anyway.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is a gratitude prompt, but it was the snow. So this week I had an appointment for a massage, and the place is exactly 1 kilometer from my house. And the roads were not plowed, so there was no place to park there. So I walked. And it was really terrific for me to walk there and walk back because it gave my knees a chance to get some exercise that they haven't had for a long time. And at the end, I was really happy about it because, wow, yoo-hoo, look what I was able to do. And it was because of the snow that I had to do this.
The it and you really struck me because there's a lot of people that I judge as being heartless, or especially in the world today, and having that understanding of they are seeing everything as an it gives me a better understanding.
Okay, here's from the online group. Agnes says that she needs to put attention on changing her encounters from the I and it to the I and you. Thank you, Agnes.
Yes, please. Thank you. I have a relationship in which it's a very negative, and I'm seen as the it. And so this made me very aware of how this person thinks. It isn't how I think. I see everybody as a you. When I interact with people, I interact with them as an individual. So that takes the it out of it. But this relationship, your service today has really helped me understand this person. Thank you.
Gratifying when you see things from another person's perspective.
Oh, goody.
I've often been given a hard time for anthropomorphizing everything. And it's like, I just feel a whole lot of vindication and justification. It's like, yes, when I look at plants, I think of you. And when I look at the water, I think of you. And I hear it in the indigenous languaging too. I think of seeing everything as relatives, brothers, sisters, grandmother, whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm understanding better why that works. Or at least it does for me.
And I want to say, anybody who can say anthropomorphize like that in a sentence, I see you.
Right there, I wanted to come after the service and ask you what that meant. I probably will, but you know. So, thanks everyone for sharing, both here and online. Ooh, my takeaways. That talk about it and you, it's not pretty when you're the subject of it. I was once itified. The province will remain nameless, but I went to a function and I was there too early for my liking because I didn't realize they had a cocktail hour. And people came in, and so where I was standing, not 40 minutes there, I was somewhere else, but we're near the door. And this woman, I could hear her griping about the whole arrangement. And suddenly her husband, I guess he was trying to comfort her. He turned to her and said, "This lady will bring our drinks for us." And I looked at him like it had never happened to me before. So he's looking at me, and I'm not moving because I was staring him down. And when it got to the point, like, what's happening here? He said, "Are you the server?" I said, "I'm here to see," and I spoke real slowly, "I'm here to see the show, just like you." Confusion, but I now see where that was coming from, right? And it was the first time in my life that had ever happened, and I was not impressed. I was nicely dressed. The first impressions, I was not dressed like a bag. I was nicely dressed because it was like dinner theater. But anywho, when you talk about people who talk to everyone, when my brother was alive, it took us forever to get anywhere And I think he was like a magnet. He would draw people to him who would want to tell him their whole life story. And I'm like, I'm the least patient person. So it was quite a conflict between us. Talking about making cigarettes. Mine actually lit. Yes. Because I made it out of exercise book leaves. So when I put the match to it, it lit, and then I almost burned down the house I was in. Because then I tried to inhale, and I inhaled a lot of smoke, and then the thing went flying. I never told anybody about that, but until today. But the people whose house I was in, they're all dead. So, yeah. And lastly, taste. Yesterday I was downtown in Union Station, stopped to have a meal. There was so many choices from in the food court. And then when I was done and I'm walking towards the subway, I'm like, oh, more places. There was a Venezuelan place, and I would have loved to taste an arepa, but I had already eaten. So I thought, and then there was cheesecake over on the other side. So I said, you know what would be really nice for me to do? Just come down there and just have a tasting spree. Like, if I have a day off, I'd probably do that, just because there was so many places and so many things I would have wanted to try, but I couldn't. I had already eaten. And what? Oh, yes. So Celia is saying that can be an artist date. We had done the Artist Way many years ago. Oh, it just warmed my heart. I actually took a picture of the cheesecake because you will learn that I love cheesecake. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend. Let's turn our attention to conscious giving. And as you would know, everything that you present to us allows us to amplify what we're doing, amplify the streaming service that we have, amplify the work that we do in our sanctuary here and in the community as well. So if you'd like to contribute to us online, you may do so via e-transfer to admin@unityspiritualcenter.com by check, payable to unityspiritualcenter.com, or give here while you're in the sanctuary. And let's say together our prayer. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. And there's one announcement. Saturday, March 1, there's an art session, and we would love if you would pre-register if you have intentions of coming. And also, do subscribe to our channel. Do click the like button. Do click the notify bell so that you're always in the know of what we're doing.
We're up to 669 now.
And we're up to 669. I saw that, and I had the vision that we're going to make 1,000 pretty soon.
Yeah, I have so many mics now. I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I'm the one with the power to choose every thought and every belief. I'm the one with a voice inside that has the power to set me free. Oh, I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I'm the only one who knows what's true, for the true self who lives in me. Yes, I'm the only one who's gonna ever know what my body, mind, and soul really needs. And that is why I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Oh, but every time I forget my own power and start doing what I think I should do, Gotta take a step back and pull my soul in so I can listen to the voice that's true. It always says, I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. I decide what matters to me. It's my decision to be in the flow. And I decide what to let in, and I decide what's got to go. Yes, I decide what's got to go. Oh, I decide what's got to go. Yes, I decide what matters to me.
Okay, the kids are having too much fun. They don't want to come in. So while we're waiting for them to gather their funness and bring it to the room, know that we are here to pray with you. And send us a prayer request if you have one to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com, or fill out a prayer request form and place it in the prayer box. So come on up, guys. Can have a seat. Great. Waiting for one more.
She does this to me. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. So does anyone want to share what you created today? Do you want to just show it to everyone? Yes. Hold it up. So did you color in a mandala? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
What does it say there?
The grace of God strengthens us, strengthens me.
Grace of God strengthens me. There.
What does it say on there?
Magnets.
There's magnets there, so you can put it up on the fridge. Nice. And you've all signed it, have you? Have you put your name on it? Because you never know. You're going to be famous one day, and someone will look and say, who made this? Very good. So shall we say this prayer of protection together? The light of God surrounds you. I am the light. The love of God enfolds you. I am the love. The power of God protects you. I am the power. The presence of God watches over you. I am the presence. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. And we'll sing the peace song together.
That's okay. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
So thank you, everyone. And guess what? I love you. Have a really great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.